Today is August Monday in the Abacos. Man, I thought I'll carry my cousin doing some lobstering, but the weather and the gods are not communicating with us. And we're talking about August Monday, Emancipation Day. And boy, I love Bob. That's the only reggae artist that I listen to, basically. The rest of them, I don't understand what the hell they're saying. And Bob say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Become better. Whatever job you put in, become better in that. And we're talking about the crime scene where somebody was killed. And you think that the police will get this one right, but they dropped the ball once again. And you think that in a murder investigation where a young doctor life was cut short, one of the brighter fellas from Abaco was also in there, in the vehicle. He's a policeman. You would think that they would get it right. But again, they dropped the ball. In America, when you see there's a death involved in an accident, they'll have 1 million people block up for 10 hours. They do not rush. They do not care. They gonna get it right the first time. You can't get it right 2 days later. First of all, the area should have been cordoned off until the inspector. One of my buddies in Nassau said, "Oh, we gotta do it at night, or we gotta do it when it happened, or we gotta wait for this one to come." Well, whenever that person come, the crime scene has to be virgin-like. Nobody's supposed to go through the crime scene. How can 2 days later, they telling me at KNS last night to move the way, I'm interfering, and 120 vehicles have already went through the crime scene, and it haven't been blocked off yet. No competent judge in this country would convict on that. Any lawyer will bring to the point, when did you do your investigation? Did you block off the road? Was the crime scene preserved? That is the key word. Was the evidence preserved? Was the evidence tampered with by anybody? Well then, obviously, after the second day, I just came, this Emancipation Day, just from KNS again. They're on the scene in the day. 3 days later, still haven't blocked off. The Cougar still there off the Jaguar. The Jaguar still there off the car in the KNS parking lot. The evidence is still there. What evidence can you find? Knowles, unfortunately, is Knowles. Knowles is one of the guys that left here with his integrity intact, and that's one of the fellas I can say is my friend, Knowles. I just wish to the universal God that was somebody like Remy Lewis, all broken up in that car, because these are people that are supposed to protect and serve, and has caused so much havoc and committed so much crime in uniform. Then you got that little Leary, Inspector Leary down in Exuma, committing crime against citizens just like he did against Kai, arrested Kai. I wish that was his behind broke up in that car. And then this Inspector ASP Ewing, this is the guy that's supposed to have some sense. They bragged that they'd be in the college. They're the dumbest asses ever been in the college. Them two policemen, Ewing and Remy. They don't wait 2 glasses of water. I wish to God, the universal God, that was them in that car all broken up so they could feel the pain that they put on the citizens that they protect, that they swore to protect and to serve. That ain't happened too much in Abaco. When they come to Abaco, it's like the wild, wild west. Anything goes. You imagine down there in Exuma, Inspector, what's his name there again? Inspector Leary, that shot a young man in the Plaza in Abaco 13 times. In America, that was called overkill. In the Bahamas, they will say that's good for you. That's what the police force are for, to assassinate people. That is what happened in Abaco. And Leary still down in Exuma playing the fool. But his day will come, like all of them. But I'm saying all this to say this. We got to be better as a police force. We got to be better as a people. Emancipate yourself. Who is the lead dog in this investigation? Can all these policemen, somebody can say all the years they had, some of them up to 30 years of just brain dead. Somebody can say we need to preserve the crime scene so the evidence can be fresh, so we can do it right. You only can do it right one time. After 3 days, what the hell you looking for? You already screwed it up. Last night, what the hell you looking for? The crime scene has been contaminated by 100 vehicles driving through. You can't get it right no more. Nobody could get convicted if they have a competent enough lawyer. That is what I'm saying on this Emancipation Day. The police force in Abaco is the worst police force in the world. And guess who's in charge? The same police chief, Mortimer, that we kicked to Abaco before the FNM, and the FNM general gone and begged for him to come back. That's why I say, one of the white knights out of Marshaba begged for Mortimer to come back. That's why he can't leave. All the complaints we got, because they got the money and they got the power, and they say, don't mind carrying these people. Let Mortimer give havoc, unprofessional service to the people of Abaco until the white knight that brought him here say release him. Nobody else could get him to go. The commissioner can't get him to go. Even the minister, Marvin Daines, can't get him to go because this white knight have to pay for the FNMs to get in power in Marshaba. So he is holding the key to Mortimer while we all suffering from this lack of professional service called the police force. Kai case, my mind, have already been freed from mental slavery. That is why Kai could speak so clearly. And this is the reason why they're trying to shut Kai up, shut him down, because who allowed him, that's what they're thinking, to speak the truth and speak so freely? The Constitution of the Bahamas did that for me, while others in the police force trying to silence me by illegally bringing all these traffic charges against me. The minister said that Bakers Bay is running an illegal record. Has it stopped? No. What if that is one of the Bakers Bay vehicle head-on collision with another driver? Bakers Bay could never, ever, maybe they couldn't in the courts because they got the money, but legally they have not any grounds to stand on, because for 10 years they've been riding the streets of Abaco without any disc on their car. Now they got one disc after all of my videographing, but the one disc does not allow them to pick up people. But to date, they are still doing so. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, Bahamians. And when you see the minister could come on TV and saying that we are taxing the tourists too much, but he says nothing about the burden that they put on Bahamian people since the FNM got in power. But he must be elected by the tourists, because he's speaking on behalf of the tourists when he said, do not tax the tourists anymore, tax the Negroes. They don't got nothing, so they're used to nothing, so continue to tax them. That is my thinking when he said the tourists are taxed too much, when they have all these exemptions from America that allow them to flourish in this country, and our government is only thinking about the tourists. They too need to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. That is why our country is in the condition it is today, because our leaders still are thinking like slaves. Once you're white, you're all right. Once you're black, get the hell back. Emancipate yourself, government people. Kai Case on this day. Until the Bahamas government begin to do what they elected to do, that is to speak for the Bahamian people. But so far, all governments are elected to speak for the investors to help with the Bahamian. Baker's Bay is a prime example of the slave thinking. Give the Negroes a job, and Baker's Bay could take millions and millions out of this country in tax revenue. Baker's Bay could sit down at the table with this F&M government, and the first thing they did, the first year, the F&M government, Brent Simonet, and our Honorable, the Right Honorable, Dr. Hubert Minnis, got $25 million from Baker's Bay and sent 18 people home without work. That is what they did. And any other country in the world, they would have had to be in step down. The Haitians in Haiti would stone the parliament, stone their vehicles, stone them, and they would not come off the streets of Haiti until these persons are allowed to step down. See what's happening in Mexico? They just talk about corruption. In this country, our prime minister and Brent is directly involved in corruption. And anybody that says anything, they're trying to shut them up. But they did the crime. They ought to be sent home a long time ago. That is why I said our mind are mentally not ready for this type of government. Kai Case, emancipate yourself from mental slavery.